Hi there, I'm Professor E.
And I'm DJ Schurz.
Welcome to the Robot Program. In this episode, we're going to show you how you can train Roli to follow a line on the floor.
Yeah, we are. And we're going to use blue painter's tape to do so. You can also use green painter's tape, but we have blue, and it also shows up well against the floor we have here at Easy Robot.
Yeah, so you're going to build a path that's different than your floor color.
Yes, you definitely want to make sure it's not the same color your floor, or your robot will be tracking your floor. Okay, so to begin, we are going to build a course on the floor. And I'm just going to give you a quick demo here. What this is going to look like is we're going to have the robot have his head look down at the ground, and he's going to track the color blue.
So we have to be able to see the blue in the camera.
Yeah,
and
you got it.
With his normal head positioning, we wouldn't be able to see it.
That's right. So we don't have to modify Roli at all. We're just going to configure his head to look down. So let's build a track, and we'll get started.
Okay, so now we have a path, and we're ready for Roli to follow something.
Yes.
So how do we do that?
I do want to point out that our path looks like the Mr. Peanut Man.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our robot here. Freshly charged batteries, of course. And we're going to connect to Roli's Wi-Fi network. And then load up Easy Builder. And we're going to skip going to the Easy Robot School. And of course, we're going to load the example project for Roli. Now we're going to use the Bear project because we want to start with something that's not as complicated as the full project.
Nice, clean workspace.
That's right. So we're going to choose Roli Bear. And we already have them put together, so we'll say no to the instructions. All right, so the first thing we want to do is connect to the robot. And he'll initialize. Perfect. Now we're going to use the camera to track the color on the floor. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in the project camera device. And we're going to connect to that. And there's Andreas. Say hello, Andreas. Okay, so we want now to train the robot the color blue. So the robot understands the color blue. So we're going to take the robot and put it down on our track here. And I'm going to point the robot so it's perfectly, you can see in this camera here, facing one of the lines, because that's going to matter to us. Now, we want the robot to be able to look down. So let's click Add Control, choose Servo, Vertical Servo, and configure that servo. We want to control his vertical servo for his head. So if we scroll down on the list, we see that his vertical servo is D9. So we're going to choose D9. And now we're going to specify the minimal position, which 90 is fine, and the maximum position, we'll make it 180, all the way down.
So this is the furthest we can go, right? We've got 0 to 180.
So now we can use this control, click on it, to move his head up and down if we want.
Perfect.
Okay, so we want it to be just looking straight down. Now you can see on the screen, we can see the line that's there. Now we're going to position the robot so it's right, the line is right perfect in the middle of the screen. Now we're going to click on the grid tab here, and we're going to move the grid so the line is close, but not right up against it, just a little close to it, just right about like that. Okay, if it's right up against it, you'll find the robot will be correcting itself too much, because when the blue line gets on either side of the grid lines, that's when the robot will turn to center the line again. So we don't want it to be too close, otherwise you won't have much room for error. Now under the multicolor tab here, we're going to choose Edit, and we're going to use this dial. We're going to slide the dial through, and as you see as I move it, I'm actually filtering out all the other colors, and I'm just extracting the color blue that we care about. So what I'm doing is I'm moving the dial all the way until the color disappears, and then back it off again. I'll do the same with the other one. Move it all the way till it disappears, back it off. And if you're using the color green, you would just filter on the color green. Now we have the saturation, the minimal saturation, so we're going to bring that up until the color disappears and back it off. Maximum saturation, back it off. And the luminance, same thing. And then luminance maximum, same thing. There we go. Now the minimum size is not super relevant, but we're going to bring it down right about there. And we'll choose Save on this one color. Now, we want the robot to be able to recognize the color, so if we went to Tracking and choose Multicolor, you'll see that it's highlighting the color, it's recognizing it. However, the camera doesn't know what to do with that color just yet.
It just sees it.
So let's turn that checkbox back off. We'll go into the gear here of the camera control. And you have two different options, servo tracking and movement tracking. Well, we're going to be using movement tracking because we want the robot to follow the object that we have specified, which is the color blue. So I'll choose movement tracking here. And now I have a speed setting. I want that checked. I also have a forward speed, a turn left speed, etc. Well, I know that from personal tests that full speed, Roli sometimes drives past the line, he misses it. So I know that if I bring the speed down to about halfway, around 120, then I think that works really well. But you can experiment with faster speeds, but let's start with 120 today.
Also depends what shape your track is too.
So bring this down to 120. And this one as well. And a quick tip, if you want to be able to change these faster, you can actually right click and it brings up a dialog box where I can scroll and select the value. There we go. All right, now we just push the save button and we can select multicolor from our tracking type and Roli should start following our line. Shall we give it a shot?
We're ready to see this?
Here we go. Go get him, Roli. That was a lot of fun.
That was pretty good.
Very cool. So you can experiment with different paths and different speeds and try out your Roli at home or in the classroom.
In this episode, we showed you how to follow a colored path using Revolution Roli. Use colored painter's tape to outline a path on the floor, avoiding any sharp curves or turns. Load the Easy Builder software and open the Bear project for Roli. Power on the fully charged robot and connect to the EasyBee using Wi-Fi. Click the blue Connect button to initialize. Add the camera device control and click the green button to activate. Roli's camera needs to point downwards towards the floor. Add the Vertical Servo control and change the minimal distance until the camera is parallel with the ground. Place Roli on the floor so that you can see the path in the camera preview. In the camera control, click on the Grid tab and then slide the vertical lines closer to the colored path. Don't bring the lines in too tightly, make sure to leave some space on either side. This creates decision-making parameters for the robot. The robot will detect that the desired color is either to the left or right of the grid lines. Select the Multicolor tab and click Edit beside the default color. Use the color wheel to filter for your desired path color. In this example, we used blue. Use the other sliders to narrow the detection range even further. Move the sliders until the color disappears and then bring them back until it's just visible again. The narrower the detection range, the more accurate the robot can be. Remember that things like lighting may impact the detection accuracy. Finally, we need to add the actual movement instructions. Click on the gear icon of the camera control. Check the movement tracking box and check Use Speed Settings. Lower the movement speeds to around half of Roli's capabilities, around 120. If the robot moves too quickly, it may not detect changes in the path. Return to the Tracking tab and select Multicolor. Roli should start moving around the path. Thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you next time. Why are multiple filters applied to the desired color? What two decision-making options does the grid provide? How does moving too quickly impact path detection? Find the answers at therobotprogram.com.